All right, everybody, welcome to day 5 of your 7-day training. I consider this day to be the most important day of all of the training. So if I could, even though the 3 vital behaviors, one of them is invite, invite, invite. It's like I almost want to put a 4th invite up there. It's like that important. This is the key to a lot of your business right here. You'll notice that out of the 3 vital behaviors that we talked about in day 1, there's only one of them that we have a specific 7-day training video all about that one vital behavior and how to invite and why we invite and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. So this may be the longest video of all of them, but I want you to pay close attention to what we're talking about here, because if you can get this invite process down, you can follow the process that we're talking about and then increase your skill as you go through this so that your ability to invite and the technique you have is better and better. You're going to have a lot of success. Okay, so this is the key right here. So let's get into this training. What are we going to cover? So on your 7-day quick start guide, you'll see this section here, inviting to your Beachbody Challenge group. It actually gives you a quick version of the scripts for inviting to your Beachbody Challenge group, which you can find longer versions in the invitation guide. So what we're going to talk about invitation method. So, phone, Facebook, email, all those different types of inviting methods. We're going to talk about different approaches. So how you posture yourself when you are talking to someone that you're going to invite to your challenge group. The invitation guide, which is the 5-step invite guide that Beachbody has created, and the techniques within it, how you can use those. We're going to talk about your story and how you can use your story in the invitation process, because that is a very key piece. It's very important that you know how to tell your story and know how to use it for inviting. And then just a reminder about inviting versus marketing, that what we're talking about mostly here in this training video is about inviting, not marketing, and those are 2 separate things. Okay, so invitation method. I would say I do most of my inviting, my personal inviting, on Facebook, and that's not a post on Facebook inviting everyone to my challenge group. That's marketing. I'm talking about a personal invite, a message to someone directly asking them if they want to be in my Beachbody Challenge group. The untargeted posts are marketing, and those are okay if you want to put out a post about how you're starting a challenge group, but just don't confuse it with inviting. That's not inviting people, that's marketing and showing that you have a challenge group coming. But you need to do personal messages and inviting. You can also do those personal messages via email. You can pick up the phone and call somebody. I know that seems kind of scary in today's world to actually talk to somebody on the phone, but it's very, very effective to actually pick up the phone, call someone, and talk to them about what you're doing. Okay, so you've got that option, and then in-person conversations, right? You're out to dinner with somebody, you're at your local triathlon club meeting, and you're talking to people about what you do. Whatever it is that you go to, you can have in-person conversations. Okay, so here's an example of an invite from the invitation guide that you could send, say, via Facebook. Hey, so and so, I'm starting a fitness challenge group. Do you want to join us? It's that simple. Like, seriously, it can be that simple. Okay, you don't want to overwhelm them with too much information. You don't want to send a second message giving more details or anything until you've had that conversation with them to see if they're even interested to begin with. Okay, so this is the invitation methods: Facebook messages, email, phone, in person, that kind of stuff. Don't overdo the untargeted posts, those marketing type posts. Approaches. Okay, this is really very key to your inviting process. Some of you as new coaches have not established yourselves as fitness professionals or fitness leaders, right? You may be the guy who was sitting on the couch 6 months ago drinking beer and eating chicken wings, right? And you're not that fitness guy, right? And you've made a transformation in your life, but you haven't prove to people that you're somebody to listen to about fitness yet, right? That may not be you. Now, it may be you. You may be someone who works in the fitness industry who's decided to sign up as a Beachbody coach for more residual income and more ways to help people than you can in your fitness classes or as a personal trainer or something like that. You, on the other hand, are already a fitness leader, right? So with that, there's two approaches that you can use depending on which one of those categories you fall into. And you may be somewhere in between and could possibly use either approach in different situations. But here's the two approaches. The partner or test market approach, which is what most new coaches who don't have a fitness following are going to want to use. It's most common for the new coaches because of that. And basically what the partner or test market approach is when you're inviting people to a challenge group, you're talking about testing something out that you may not have tried yet. So let's say you're going to go do Les Mills Combat and you haven't done it yet and you're going to do it and you invite a bunch of people to that challenge group. You can say, hey, I'm going to go try out this program. A bunch of my buddies and other coaches and stuff have done this program and they've gotten awesome results and it looks like a ton of fun and I want to invite you to do it with me, right? So you're not posturing yourself as the leader, someone who's going to mentor them through this program. You're posturing yourself as a partner, someone who's going to get the fitness results with them. Okay, that's a great approach if you don't have that fitness following. If you've already established yourself as a fitness leader, someone that people listen to you about fitness already, and you just haven't done the Beachbody thing yet, and you're starting this out and learning how to help people with this as well, you can use the coach or mentor approach. And so if you've got that reputation, you can use that coach mentor approach where you can say, I've done this program, or I believe in this product and I want to show you how you can get results with it. So will you join my challenge group? I'm going to coach you through, I'm going to be there with you, and I'm going to show you how to get the results. So you're posturing yourself as a mentor, as someone who can show them the way because you've already been there. All right. Now, if you're not a fitness professional or something, but you've completed a program like P90X or P90X2 or Insanity or several of those programs, you have amazing before and after pictures, people are already interested in how you've done what you've done, you may be able to use either one of these approaches depending on if you're talking about starting a new program you haven't tried yet, or you're going to start a challenge group with a program that you have had obvious success with and people can see that. Okay, so you may be able to use either or one of these may fit you better than the other one. Okay, but there's two approaches there and they both work depending on your situation. All right, so the invitation guide and techniques. Okay, this is where we're going to spend most of our time today. The key to this is the form part at the beginning of your conversation with people. FORM is an acronym that stands for family, occupation, recreation, and message. Okay, so the idea is that you're finding out things about this person as you have a conversation with them, as you're getting ready to invite them to your challenge group, about their family, their occupation, and their recreation before you give your message of what you're going to invite them to. So the message is when you invite. F, O, and R come before that. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now, if we're talking about family that you're inviting or very close friends that you're having conversations with every day, the F-O-R part might already be done. It may not have to be specifically done in a series of messages or something like that. If it's a new person or someone you haven't talked to in a while, you may have to specifically do the family, occupation, recreation conversations. If it's a cold lead, someone who you've never you're just meeting, like at the airport or wherever you're going to talk to somebody, you definitely have to do the FOR part of form before you make that invitation. Okay, so all of this is covered in the 5-step invite guide, which you can download on this page. So if you haven't done that already before watching this video and you don't have it in front of you, I want you to just pause for a second. I want you to pull up that 5-step invitation guide that's linked on this page. Okay, this is the Beachbody invitation guide, and it's actually quite long. It has a lot of information in it, but it's a step-by-step process. It has sections on how to do the first message and invite, how to respond to their response, how to enroll them in your challenge group, all that stuff. And then it has objection sections too, where it will talk about how to overcome objections. Hey, I sent them this message, they responded with this objection. You can go look and see what kind of answers you want to give to that message. Okay, so while you're going through that invitation guide and looking at the scripts in there, a couple things to remember. Your job is to create curiosity and not to provide every single detail. Okay, if you send someone the first message, you'll notice that the first message that I showed you earlier was something like, I'm starting a 60-day challenge group, would you like to join us? A very, very simple message like that. You don't have to be robotic about it. You can add your own flair, maybe something from a conversation you've had with that person, any of that kind of stuff. Maybe it's someone you joke around with. Don't be robotic about it, but it's a simple message. If you send them the first message, and the first message is like, hey, I've got this 60-day challenge group. We're going to do Les Mills Combat, or you could choose Insanity, or you could choose this program. And whichever one you want to do, we could do that one, and I can put you in one of these few groups. And the cost is this much money, and it's a 5-paragraph invitation. You've given them like 15 different places that they can find in that message where they could find something that their brain could tell them is a good excuse why not to do it. Right? But if you send them that simple message with just, would you like to join us? More times than not, the answer comes back, hey, that sounds interesting. Can I have some more details? Now you have a conversation started, right? Whereas before, all the information there, they can just come back and say, oh no, I'm too busy right now, right? Because they saw some details that they could use against you, basically, to tell you why they can't do it, okay? So don't give them that. Get them to tell you if they're interested or not in that type of thing. Then you can go on to the next step, which is finding their why. Okay, so you create curiosity in the first message. When they come back and they say, yes, I'm interested, give me some more details, then that is the most important next step. You'll see this in the invitation guide. Okay, so here's an example right here from the invitation guide of an answer when they come back and say, yeah, this sounds interesting, tell me more about this group. You say, awesome, I'm excited you're considering joining the challenge. I'm curious, what's motivating you to want to join the group? You don't have to use that exact wording, but that's the basic idea of that step, right? You could say, what would you want to get out of a group like this? What kind of results would you expect to get? What kind of results would you think would be, what you would want out of this group? Any kind of question you can get them to say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds, and you can dig deeper into that. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? And get to that real solution. That real solution that says, I want to be able to keep up with my kids in the backyard because I get out of breath every time I play t-ball with them. That's the why that you want to get to. Okay, so then you can show them how that thing that they want is connected to your solution, okay, which is one of your challenge groups. I love this quote here. It says, the aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well the product or service fits him and sells itself. And that's so true. If you know your customer, if you know the person that you're trying to help, your product or service is going to solve some problem that they have. You just have to show them how it does, and then it pretty much sells itself at that point, okay? So that's kind of the invitation guided techniques. Let's talk a little bit about your story and how that plays into inviting, okay? So on your Team Beachbody profile, when you filled that out, hopefully in your homework from day one you filled that out, there's a spot there where you kind of tell your story, right? It's your bio. Take a look at that and make sure that your story is really, the story about Beachbody and how Beachbody and fitness and stuff has changed your life. That story is the story that you can use with people to tell them how this has changed your life, so you can connect to how what you're offering can change their life. So I like to say you have a long story and a short story version. The long story is what's on your Team Beachbody profile, right? That you can write that out. It can be a bunch of characters. It can be your whole fitness story, right? You don't want to go overboard. You want to be fairly concise with it, so they don't stop reading because it's 10 pages long. But that's the long version, right? The short story version is the one that you tell in the elevator. It's the one that you tell when you're at the airport with somebody and you only have a few minutes. You're waiting in a line or something like that. Maybe if you're going to sit with somebody on an airplane, actually on the airplane for 2 hours, you can tell the long version, right? But if you're just in the elevator and you've got 4 floors to go and you want to tell the short story because somebody asked you some kind of question, and you can tell your story about the Shakeology shirt you're wearing and what Shakeology is, you got to know your short story, right? The short story is, I like this kind of a format to it. What you did prior to Beachbody, the solution that Beachbody had for you, the results you got, and then a call to action. So prior to Beachbody, I was X weight. The solution was I got in this Beachbody challenge group and I lost all this weight. The results are I lost 50 pounds. And If you want to do that too, I can show you how. Right? That's your short story. It's maybe not quite as short as that, right? You give a few more details about what happened prior to Beachbody, the solution that you found with Beachbody, how your coach maybe helped you in that Beachbody Challenge group, the results you got, and then, hey, I can help you do the same thing, right? If you want. So that's your short story. Explain how it has changed your life and how it's made your life better. It's so powerful. Your story is so powerful to people. The technical details of what's in Shakeology is great. The how many days long P90X is or Insanity is, those are great things. People ask those questions, answer those questions. But those details are not what gets people in challenge groups. Your story is what gets people in challenge groups. Your story, your dad's story, your mom's story, your sister's story, your wife's story, your downline coach's story, whoever's story fits that situation. Your story is usually the most powerful, but also, like, I use my dad's story with Shakeology and diabetes all the time. That's a very powerful story. Okay, so stories are very powerful. Learn to tell your story very well so that when people, you're in the elevator, you can tell it, you can make an impact, and people are like, I have to have what you had, what you have. Okay? So homework for this lesson, begin inviting people to your challenge group. I know that's scary, right? So we're going to invite people from that list that we created, right? We created a list of 30 people in the last lesson. If you don't have that list created, you shouldn't be on this video. But if that's the case, you don't have the list created, go back to lesson 4, get that list created, and then it's time to start inviting. You should already have your challenge group dates set, and it should be time to invite, okay? This is a matter of learning this skill. It's going to be honed over time. You may start out at 30 people only gets you 1 in, and you may end up 2 months from now that you've finally gotten to 30 people gets you 5 yeses, right? Or you may start out at 30 people already gets you 10 yeses. We don't know that, but this is how we're going to do it. This is the best way to get you involved in getting challenge groups started. Just go out and invite those 30 people, okay? If you've got more than 30 people, heck, go invite some more people. But 30 people, I want you to invite them. Begin doing that now. Follow the invitation guide in your inviting, okay? Don't send links to your webpage in the first invite. Just don't do it. Send them simple things that create curiosity and make them come back with questions and curiosity, right? So you get the curiosity, then you find out why they're curious, why that even appealed to them at all. You get that why, you connect it to the solution. Invite, discover the why. You can show them the videos, you'll see that in the invitation guide, or you can just tell your story. I actually choose to tell my own story rather than showing the Beachbody Ever Feel Like This video like they talk about in the invitation guide, and that's an option for you. Share commitments and expectations after you've found their why and connected to the solution, and then enroll them in the challenge group, okay? So that is the end of our invite training. I can't stress enough with you guys that you've got to follow this to the letter. You've got to trust us that this is the way to get your business moving, okay? Invite, follow the invitation guide. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to support your challenge group once you've got those people invited and enrolled in your challenge group, okay? But your job for right now is the most important job of this 7-day training. That's to take that list you created, invite those people, and start getting them enrolled. Now, as you're doing this, one last thing I want to say is, as you're doing this, I really want you to keep in contact with me or the upline that signed you up in this business, your sponsor, because you don't have to go through this inviting process alone. Just because we're doing this on a video doesn't mean that you're alone. If you've got somebody who's responded to your invite and you don't know how to respond back, we're here to help you with that, okay? So get in contact with us, keep in contact with us through this whole 7-day training, and let us help you more, okay? But these are the basics. This is what you need to do, okay? Day 5.